Hi, I'm Steve from 2Cat Media and welcome to another video. In fact, welcome to the channel in general. Welcome, my friends. Now, in today's video, we're going to be doing the actual flight test indoors and maybe a little bit outdoors as well of the DEERC D50. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I thought I'm going to try it outside on one of my fields that I normally test my drones out on. It was quite windy, 8 to 10 miles per hour, but I thought I'll give it a try. The altitude hold seems to be working really well. It is quite windy. So at this point, the gust of wind comes along and starts taking it towards the left-hand side and closer to the trees. And guess what happened? Well, I think you can guess what happened. It got stuck in a tree, but luckily it was a low tree and I was able to grab it. You can see it. It looks okay. It's a bit windy. It didn't do very good. Still working. So at this point I decided, you know what, the wind's getting stronger now, it's not going to be very good, so I'm going to take it indoors and try and film this indoors and maybe a little bit in the back garden if the wind subsides. Okay, so finally we're indoors, it's nice and warm, and guess what, there's no wind and no trees, so that's a bonus. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do some basic controls with just the controller and without the app. So first of all, let's take off. Now, as you can see here, it's hovering pretty well. There is some downwash from the propeller wash pushing down, so it does drift somewhat. Even if you trim it, it will still drift sometimes. And then, but you know what? I'm quite impressed. You can see here, I'm just holding the controller there, and it's just more or less staying in a kind of a small area, so that's absolutely great. The altitude hold on this is actually not too bad at all for the price. So here I'm rolling left and right. The controls on this are quite sharp, and that's a good thing. You know, it's very interactive. You know, when you move it one way or the other, immediately it responds. It's really, really good. You know, up and down there, left and right, really, really good, really interactive. You know, nice control to the drone as well. So here we're going to go forwards and backwards as much as we can in the house, and again, very, very responsive. I think this is on about 25 to 50% speed, which is adequate for me inside the house. I don't want to start crashing it too much, you know. So here we're going to yaw it to the left and the right. And again, it just spins and it keeps that height. The altitude hold is actually pretty good. And it only starts losing that either when I move it or when it starts getting a little bit low on battery. Here, it's almost like we're dancing with the drone, you know. I mean, apologies when it goes out of shot sometimes, but yeah. You know, it just goes round and round and round, and you know, the chance of crashing it is actually quite low, although I have crashed it a couple of times. So here, while we're playing around with it, the battery now, as you can hear the beep, that means low battery warning. All 4 lights on the bottom of the drone, as you can see, they are flashing, and the beep from the controller continues until you land the drone. So after a little bit more of a slight little play with the drone, I decided I'm going to press the button and land it to save the battery. Okay, so here we have the DEERC D50. Here, if you press instruction, you get all of what each of those does. So let's just move back here. You can click on the album as well, and you can see things that you've taken videos of, or pictures, etc. Okay, and we can press start. Okay, so as you can see there, we have the floor, the wooden floor. Okay, so here we have the photos. We can take a photo there, as you heard. We can take a video. Okay, we can stop that. We can access the photos and the videos we just took. Okay, you've got some other options there. You've also got the on button there. Now, here you have your takeoff and land button here, which is that one. You also have your gesture where you can record or take photos. Okay, you have your tap to fly where you can like that and it follows it around. You also have the vocal voice commands as well. Now, I have tried these out and they do not work, or at least they didn't work, okay? Now, it's going to be a bit more difficult indoors to try, but we'll try our best. So as you can see here, we have the controller, okay? And we can do that anywhere on each of the sides there. But as far as I'm aware, they don't work either. Okay, so I'm going to start up the drone. Now, I'm going to try and take off by pressing this button here. Nothing. Now I'm going to take off manually, and I'm going to press that and see if it lands. Okay, just going to control it there and press it again, and nothing. Okay, so that's not working. The tap to fly doesn't work. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, let's try and control it using the on-screen controller. These. It's doing absolutely nothing. There we go, just move it back ourselves. Might try and fly this outside as well in the moment, just so you can see. But you know what, the image quality on the screen recording here, on the actual FPV rather, is actually okay. Okay, so I try the voice commands. I try to say land, forward, backwards, left, right, fly. I'm already flying, but hey ho. And you know what? They don't work. And guess what? Neither does the gesture controls as well. Let's land this and then we'll take it outside and just see exactly how good it is. Okay, so my final thoughts on the DRC D50 after completing the unboxing, setting up and the test flight as well. Now, you know what? I think it's actually quite a decent drone for the price point. Okay, 70, 80 pounds it's going to cost. I think it's on Amazon, 70, 80 pounds. There's actually a 10% link discount code for Amazon for both the USA and the UK in the description below, so take a look at that if you're considering buying it. Like I said, this is not a paid promotion whatsoever, it's just there for your convenience as well. Now, would I recommend this drone? I think that's the main question, but first of all, let's have a quick look at some of the features about this drone. Now, the 2K camera, you know, it does the job, you know, in the app it does the job. I wouldn't personally use the app. apart from taking photos and recording it and using the FPV. But the features in it aren't great. They don't work a lot of the time, if at all. I don't know if it's an incompatibility with my phone or with Android itself, but it is the latest update. So personally for me, it didn't. If this was my drone, then I probably wouldn't use it apart from like taking photos and that. The camera is a 2K camera. The resolution's a little bit kind of out of sync. It's squashed slightly, but apart from that, it's okay. It does the job. It is manually adjustable, which on some of them, you don't actually get adjustable cameras, you know, even if it is manual on some of the cheaper drones. So actually not too bad. You know, it gives you options, I suppose, at the very least. Landing legs and propeller guards, yeah, still a little flimsy, but you know what? I've had no problems with them and they do the job. Now, in my last video, you will notice I did say about these was actually quite difficult to get back on, or take off rather, but that came off pretty easy. And I've put it back on and it clicks in really, really easy. So I'm going to take that back actually about the propeller guards. Once you actually, maybe it's my old age, I don't know, but once you actually practice a little bit with them, it's actually quite easy. So yeah, the landing legs, they do the job. They're absolutely fine. The controller is really nice to work with, you know, and it holds your phone pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with that. The propellers, they're really quite hard. The whole drone is actually quite hard. It's actually quite resistant and resilient, you know. Flying it, quite decent indoors. You do have to obviously keep an eye on it in smaller spaces. Outdoors, you have to be careful of the wind. If you are going to fly it outdoors on a gentle, non-windy day. You know, I think that's probably the best bet. Put in 100% speed and go from there. Indoors, whatever you're comfortable with the speed, okay, and depend on the size of your room, but do put these on in your room just in case. Altitude hold outside actually works pretty well, okay. My first test actually held there pretty well, but obviously you've got to keep an eye on it, you know. It's not got GPS, it's not got any kind of flow sensors on the bottom or nothing like that. Now, overall, would I purchase this drone for 70, 80 pounds, even with a discount down below in the description? No, I would not purchase this drone because I personally don't need it. Would I recommend this to a beginner? Yeah. Would I purchase this from one of my older children? Yes, I would. So, yeah, so overall, yeah, I would recommend it. I think for the price, great. The lights are great. It does the 3D flips. Absolutely perfect. You know, it's got the camera on there, and for the price, it's actually not too bad at all. And I like these drones because they are good to teach you how to fly it, you know, manually, if you will, because these drones are actually a lot harder to fly than the more expensive GPS drones. And if you crash them, you haven't spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds, or maybe even £1,000 or £2 on a drone setup. That's the end of the review. Thank you, DRC/Holystone, for sending me this drone out, the DRC D50. There is a link in the description down below if you want to purchase this drone. This is not a paid promotion, as I said before, but DRC have kindly sent me out this drone for free, and as a result, I'm going to donate this drone to one of my younger family members so that they can get into drones and hopefully spark that interest in them. They're only like 14, 15 years old, but you know what? I think they will enjoy this drone. So listen, anyway, regardless of all that, so if you have enjoyed this video, then please give it a big, massive thumbs up, and any comments or questions about this particular drone or this video in general, then please put them in the comment section below. And if you are new to the channel, then please consider subscribing. We have just passed 750 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody, for that. You are all absolutely amazing. And if you are new to the channel, like I said, then please consider subscribing. And you too, my friend, could be part of the exclusive, yet elusive community that is 2Cat Media. So listen, until the next video, stay safe, drone on.